Welcome back, everyone. Guess what? It's the same day. Double video day. I couldn't help myself. Somebody said, what are the alternatives? I'm going to throw some alternatives at you right now about reserve list cards and the alternatives that you could afford on pennies on the dollar. Coming up next. Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back. MTG MOX MAN here. I know, it's January 21st. I just did a video today about Copy Artifact. And it was awesome to see that card get bought out in front of me. But one of the early comments in that section about an hour and a half ago said, hey, you know what? If we're going to see just buyout videos, if everything's just buying out individually, it might get a little bit dull. What about the alternatives? And I thought, that's a great idea. It is a good idea. Let's talk about the alternatives to reserve list cards. Let's save players some money and put some money back in their pocket if they can't afford one of these high-priced cards, but they still want to have some of that versatility of what those cards provide, okay? So we're going to jump to that today. We're going to have some fun with it. Now, if you're new to the channel, you somehow have found me out there in YouTube land, I hope you enjoyed the content today. I hope you stick around for future videos. Thank you very much. And please always leave comments below. Love to hear about the stuff you got going on, what you think about what I've done today. It's very cool. All right, now, get this. You ready for this? First card we're going to talk about is going to be Moat. Moat is from Legends. It's a 2-white casting 2 other giant beastie of a card enchantment that says, no non-flyers can attack. All right, very cool. But it's $700. Look at the price tag on that. 700 bucks. That freaks me out right there, I'm telling you. But how about the fact that we could find a card that's cheaper? Let's jump to this. Now, this card I'm going to show you, the Peacekeeper, he is reserve list, okay? So he is still like, he's still reserve list, but he's an affordable reserve list card at 18 bucks. He's not bad. He does have an upkeep, so you do have to pay it every turn to keep those creatures from not attacking, but he does say all creatures. So he's stopping everything. 3 casting for a 1/1, he says, no, you can't come in. No attacking ground, no attacking air, no attacking at all. So you can really build a deck around that just to stop creatures from coming at you. It's very cool. Again, you could put multiple in your deck, not restricted. Very, very cool. Good for commander. He's decent, okay? And you can put him in there. No, he's not an enchantment, but you can build around him still. So he's a very functional card. And if he's not the one for you, I found another. How about Magnus of the Moat? Now, the Peacekeeper was 18 bucks. Magnus of the Moat's even cheaper from Future Sight at $5.99. Look at that price difference. Ha! Ha! Look at what we're talking about here. We're saying this is very affordable, okay? $5.99. He is basically a functional reprint in terms of casting cost and his effect, except for he's a creature. So he's 4, Moat's 4. Creatures, right? But he's an 0/3 creature who can be killed. He's bolt bait. He can be knocked out of the game very quickly, but you got multiple in your deck. You can mess people up depending on how you're building your deck. He's a very functional reprinted card. You can do stuff with him. You can have some fun with the Magnus and the Moat. Look at him. He looks awesome. Looks like he's floating across lava with like a lightning bolt coming out, saying, no, no, no. Where the Moat's just a giant castle with a drawbridge saying, you can't come in. So they're both doing that same thing. Very, very good card, man. I'm telling you. Now, next up, you ready for this? We just talked about Copy Artifact. What are you doing? But there is a functional, there's a reprint card we can use if you can't afford the 120 bucks. I got something for you. I got you. We're going to talk Mirror Maid. All right, now, Copy Artifact. 1 blue, 1 other. Copies an artifact in play. But Mirror Maid at $2.11. That's like $118 less. Can copy artifacts or enchantments. Yes, it does have a higher casting cost. I know, it's 2 blue and 1 other. And yes, blue, having 2 blue out when you have a multicolored deck may not be the best thing, but it's possible to do it still. Mirror Maid is a good functional copy that's going to get the stuff you want done, and you have more choices with it, so you can actually branch your deck out a bit. Not to mention it can come in full art extended foil, full art non-foil. You've got choices of artwork interpretation here. Very, very cool. A little bit affordable for everyone. You want to spend a few extra bucks for a nice full art foily from Throne of Eldraine? You can. It's beautiful. And it can be reprinted, so you know it's not going to be too expensive for you. You can get this card, and you can put it in a deck if you don't want to pay for what a copy artifact costs, okay? It's affordable. You can totally do it. Just save you some cash. It's kind of funny, isn't it? We're here to save you money. We're going to make this work for you. Don't you worry. Just stand by right now. We got the savings coming at you. Feels so funny. All right, so how about How about, you ready for this? Oh, I did that wrong again. There we go. Wheel of Fortune, 450 bucks. But Reforged the Soul is only 8 bucks. 450, 8 bucks. 450, 8 bucks. You hear what I'm talking about here? Now, Reforged the Soul at 8 bucks does have a miracle. So what happens is you can just pay the miracle cost instead of paying the 5. If you draw off the top of your deck. So you have to have like maybe a red-blue deck where you could like use something to stack the deck so you get it at a certain time. Miracle cost means you can just pay it for that cost, which is 1 red, 1 other. So it's actually cheaper than Wheel. Or you pay the 5. Okay. Right? It's 8 bucks. Very, very cheap. And it's not restricted, so you can have 4 in a deck, depending on what kind of deck you're building, what format you're playing in. Whereas Wheel, we know, is at 450 bucks. It costs a fortune now. But you got to weigh that out for yourselves. Maybe this is what you're going to use for now. Maybe you're going to save up for a Wheel later. But at least you have something you can try out and use. And if that's not the card for you, then how about Wheel of Fate? Now, Wheel of Fate has suspend. So you got to pay the 1 red, 1 other, and suspend it for 4. And 4 turns later, the spell goes off. They can still counter it, yes, but that's only $1.50. Like, it's $1.50 for Wheel of Fate. You could totally use that card too. And you know in a few turns it's going to go off. So you can plan your deck around and say, hey, I'm going to do this on this turn, this on this turn, this on this turn, depending on what cards you draw. And you'll know which cards you can get rid of. But the other player's ticking it down, going, oh, I got to counter it. Oh, I got to cast these out. I'm going to lose these high casting cost creatures. Or maybe, who knows? But it is a type of card you can build around still. It still does the same thing, drawing 7 cards, discarding 7. So you can still use it in all kinds of decks to help you out. Very, very functional card, okay? It's very cool. Now, the last card I want to talk about. The last bad boy that I thought was like pretty cool. And that is going to be the Abyss. Now, the Abyss is an amazing card. Used to go with cards like Tabernacle, Penderville, Moat. You'd put all these kind of cards together because it just says you got to bury a non-artifact creature every turn. Every player's got to do it. Now, there's lots of ways of putting massive tokens out nowadays, but still, you know, if you got the right kind of thing, it's very hard to deal with. At 950 bucks, more in some cases, depending on what edition you're buying, what version, what condition, that's a very expensive Legends card. Very expensive. But if you shop right now, you can buy the Magnus of the Abyss for the low price of $1.84. That's right. $1.84 will save you $948 and some change. You guys can, you know, you can split the difference with me. You can send me a check for the rest of the money I just saved you today. And I mean, let's think, come on, guys. You could totally make this a functional card. You can make it work in your deck for now if you can never afford an Abyss. Yes, it's a creature, where that's an enchantment, very similar to their ones. All the Magnus cards basically copy them as creatures. So there's a Magnus of their Tabernacle, a Magnus of the Disc for Neverwinter's Disc, and for Tabernacle Penderville. There's also a Magnus of the Candelabra for a Candelabra of Tawnos reprint kind of guy. There's all these Magnus guys you could be using to substitute what's going into your deck right now. Very, very easy to do and very affordable compared to the alternative if you can't afford it. Now, these are non-reprintable. They'll always have a higher premium. But if you just want a card to play with that doesn't cost you a fortune, any of the options I showed you today are very affordable. You could buy them all for like 50 bucks. All of them. Everyone I just mentioned, you can probably buy for less than $50 if you want to go and get play sets of some of them for like $3. It's crazy. And chances are you can afford to do it, okay? I mean, I thought this was kind of funny when I started going through these and seeing what was available and what cards you could use. And it's right, let's not all be negative Nelly about it. It's not like Wizards hasn't gone out of their way to print cards we can afford and can use versus these buyouts we're talking about where everything's just disappearing. I'm seeing stuff across my chatter and emails now going off the hook saying about this is gone, this is gone, this is gone. I know, it's all gone, but let's not be depressed. Let's be happy. Great, some of us have investments that are going up. Cool. Some people want to get them. I do feel a bit sorry for you. And maybe you can save up for one still. And for those of you who just want a reprint card that's maybe accessible and not too expensive, you know, a very affordable card, all those ones are very affordable. The most expensive was what, $18 for that Peacekeeper? And again, he is on the reserve list. So you can get a guy who stops all creatures, not just like non-flyers in Moat. This thing stops all creatures from attacking, which is very cool. Put that with a few cards, you can have a lot of fun with that deck. You really could. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is a double whammy video. I know, right? 2 videos in one day. What was Mox Man thinking? I want to give the viewers what they need and what they want to see. Often imitated, never duplicated. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. This is MTG MOX MAN. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great one. I will. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm clicking the button. Things end now. I go away. I put this back in and go do more research. Something like that, okay? All right. It fell out, I know, but I mean well. Hey, big shout out to all my patrons. Thank you so much for continuing to support me through these turbulent times. You guys are amazing, and thank you so much. Look forward to talking to everybody soon. Remember, hit me up with those emails and comments. Looking forward to it. Have a great one. This is MTG MOX Man.